Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for this live webinar. My name is Greg Lewis. I'm the Marketing Director here at MetaStock. Software and data, market data, for active traders just like yourself. Thank you so much for showing up. I say that like showing up, like we drug you out of your house. Thanks so much for joining us. Sorry. It's a gorgeous day here in southern Texas in our satellite studio, and today's presenter is our very own David Lakey. Al Lakey. I'll let you in on a secret fact. He goes by Dave, but we had another Dave in sales, so we had to start calling him Al. That reminds me of a Paul Simon song. All right, enough foolishness. Hey, we are MetaStock. If you haven't heard of us, I'm going to go ahead and play a little video for you right now whilst I get my thoughts together.
Hi there, Greg Lewis, MetaStock Software. As the marketing director, I get asked all the time, what is MetaStock? How can I help my trades? Well, stick around for about 3 minutes and I'll tell you. MetaStock is an award-winning software and data package that has been helping traders for over 35 years. Simply put, MetaStock is a tool for traders like you to analyze the markets. MetaStock helps you take the guesswork out of trading by offering a methodical, systematic approach to some key questions all traders come up against. Questions like, how do I decide which securities to trade when there are literally thousands to choose from? Which strategy should I use, and how do I test that strategy before spending my first trading dollar? When should I enter and exit a trade? How can I effectively manage the securities I'm interested in? And of course, how do I know where prices will go next? At the core of MetaStock are the PowerTools. The PowerTools give professional-grade analysis tools to private traders like you and me. You can scan the market with the MetaStock Explorer to filter and sort securities that show buy and sell signals based on your criteria. The MetaStock System Tester lets you test most strategies through a process called backtesting, which allows you to see how your strategy would have performed over time. You can easily manage and monitor the securities you are interested in with Quote Center. Quote Center lets you sort on a variety of criteria to view the data that's important to you. Then just double-click on a security if you want to see its chart. With the MetaStock Forecaster, you can even take advantage of patented technology to view probable future prices. If you're an options trader, you're going to love MetaStock's OptionScope. OptionScope puts all the critical info at your fingertips, displaying sortable, customizable, color-coded options data, including the Greeks. And MetaStock has solutions for traders of all levels and interests. If you're just getting into trading, you will appreciate the education offered by our many built-in systems. In addition to pointing out buy and sell signals, MetaStock explains how they work in an easy-to-follow commentary window. MetaStock has built-in systems based on popular strategies like MACD, Bollinger Bands, turtle trading, candlesticks, and many more. MetaStock even has the very popular and exclusive Rahul Mohindar Oscillator System, or simply known as the RMO. And as you become a more experienced trader, MetaStock grows with you. Advanced analysts will enjoy the comprehensive list of trading systems and indicators and the ability to build their own systems. And if you're a day trader, you can't do better than Zenith, the real-time news, data, and analysis package offered by Refinitiv, a world leader in market data. Add on the world-class support, and it's not hard to see why MetaStock has won the Stocks and Commodities Reader's Choice Award for 26 consecutive years. To find out more about MetaStock and how it can help your trading, visit metastock.com or contact a product professional via phone, email, or chat.
Okay, I see that Al has at least sat in his chair, and now I know at least he's going to be here. I was getting a little concerned because I didn't see him in the studio in Salt Lake, but now he is there. So I think we're going to be okay. What's coming up? Next Monday, we're going to start our 6-day mega event called the MetaStock Traders Conference. It's the largest event we've ever done, online or otherwise. It is online. It has 48 speakers, 48 hours of presentations, and it's all free, and it's all available to you. And you can register right now by going to metastock.com and then clicking the banner on top, and then you will see this website. And as you scroll down, you'll notice that there are different pages. These are all tabbed through the days. It is Monday through Saturday. All of the days start at 10 a.m. Some of them finish later than others. I don't recall for each page, but anyway, they've got tons of speakers. Vince Vora, great, Fausto Pugliese, Rahul Mahindar, Daniel Sinig, Price Headley, AJ Brown, and many, many more. So it's going to be a fantastic event, and I know you're really going to enjoy it. All you have to do to register is go right here. Now, we will be providing recordings, and we will, of course, be broadcasting it both on YouTube and go to webinars. So you may say to yourself, well, why would I register if I can just watch it on YouTube and not have to register? Well, the reason for that is you want to be available for the fabulous giveaways and door prizes that they'll be doing, no purchase necessary, during the presentations. So don't forget to do that. I'll put a link here in the chat on YouTube, and you're going to really not want to miss 48. Well, it says 47 here, but I happen to know it's 48. All right. So I do see Mr. Lakey in his seat. However, I don't see his screen. I'm thinking I should maybe let you listen to some jazzy music while I go over and talk to Mr. Lakey and make sure that he's good to go. We'll be back in about 2 minutes, heaven willing. Cross your fingers.
I
Can
can
you hear
hear
me,
you.
Dave? Okay. I think everyone now on YouTube and GoToWebinar can hear both of us. If you're not, if you can't, please let us know in chat. Give us a thumbs up if you can see and hear us. I believe you can. Everything looks good. I'm from here in the studio in Southern Texas. Al, I'm sorry, I'm calling you Dave. I know in the profession they go by Al, which is a great name. And when I was saying that in the introduction, it reminded me of the old Paul Simon song, You Can Call Me, isn't it You Can Call Me Al?
You can call me Al.
Is that
Yeah,
right?
that's right. I reference that a lot. Yeah.
I called it. All right. Hey, so if you're just coming in, thanks for joining us. Today's live MetaStock presentation is going to be given to us by our very own Al Lakey. Al has been with the company for how long?
19 years.
Wow. No, you have not. That would make
Yeah, it's
you.
getting up there.
Were you here before me?
It's either maybe it's only 8. I'm over
I think it's only
18.
18 because I think you came here just after me, and I've been here just now I'm just now at 19 years. Excuse me. Anyway, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Al's been around the company for a long time. Like many of our employees, he started out in support, super knowledgeable about MetaStock and trading, and transferred over to sales a few years ago. It is great to have him today. I think this is actually one of his first presentations, so be very nice to our very own Al Lakey. Al, take it away.
Thank you, Greg. All right. Yeah, I'm here to help you talk to you about MetaStock and how you can use it to improve your trading by helping find the right strategy for you. But first of all, just a moment. Let's get, there we go. We have to have a disclaimer, of course. This demonstration is designed to instruct you on using MetaStock and accompanying software plugins and is not recommended to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using the specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. MetaStock shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of their software and any trading strategies or any information provided in connection with the company. So we got that out of the way. All right, how's everybody doing today? So this is my contact information. You can reach me at any time at these phone numbers, 1-800-587-8013, or through my email, al.lakey@metastock.com. You can also come into the sales chat and ask for me, and I'll be happy to talk with you. So MetaStock, boy, it was founded in 1982 by Steve Achilles. It was purchased by Reuters in 95, and we've had quite a role since then on ownership. Released quote center real-time data feed based on Reuters technology for MetaStock in 2005, which then that turned into the Zenith program, which was developed by Thomson Reuters. We've sold over 309,000 MetaStock units, and we divested from Thomson Reuters in 2013. And just to give everybody a quick update, so Zenith is now owned by LSEG, London Stock Exchange, and we're really looking forward to that relationship because I feel that's going to be a strong relationship with them. We've also been rated for 30 years in a row the best analysis software by the readers of Task Magazine's technical analysis of stocks and commodities. 30 years. And if you wait just a little bit longer, it'll be 31. So that's coming. That announcement should be out any day. So we're going to talk about different trading plans, understanding what a trading plan would be, testing your trading ideas and scanning for trades based upon those ideas. And then we'll talk about how you can get access to MetaStock and everything we talk about at the end. So this is a quote by the gentleman, Richard Dennis, who helped develop the turtle trading system. I always say that you could publish rules in a newspaper and no one could follow them. The key is consistency and discipline. It's kind of interesting that they talk about who makes the best traders. And airplane pilots are one of the people or different occupations that people have that seem to follow it the best, because they know how to follow the rules step by step. That's that's driven into them, that they follow the rules step by step. And they developed the turtle trading system. Honestly, it's a very simple system, and it would work today in the trading the markets if you simply followed their rules. Let's see, we're going to divert from here because I'm going to talk to you a little bit about when I first started looking at technical analysis and trading. I remember, I wasn't affiliated with MetaStock at the time. It was my first experience with another company, and they were teaching people how to trade and some things. And a lady came in and talked to us one time, and she left a big impression on me. She had been around the markets for probably 20 years by that time, at least 15, or so. And she had worked for companies in their their communications department and things like that. And she was learning about trading through this job and about different companies and how to analyze companies. And she talked about all the money she had spent on training from outside resources and all of the time she was spending on trading. She said one day she was there doing her work, and she looked over at her daughter, who was getting older. I believe she would say she was about 5 at that time, and realized that she was spending so much time behind the computer doing her trading. She decided to come up with something simpler. Now, I think that trading can be on many levels. It just has to fit you. You can be a kind of person that takes in all kinds of knowledge and really studies the market and knows every in and out. Or you can find something that works for you and spend as little time as possible, an hour a day, a couple hours on the weekend, whatever it is, to fit your trading style and what works for you. I'm not the kind of person that can really learn everything because I get analysis paralysis. If I take in too much information and try and really study every possible facet. So she had come up with this strategy that I really liked. And it was kind of interesting because in preparing for this, I did some things and I was really surprised at it. She decided that she was going to take good quality companies, the ones that she had done research on and determined that they were a quality company, and she would monitor those companies. And when they have their price moves above the 22 period moving average and it closes above it on higher volume, that she would go long. And then she would use the 22 period moving average as a stop or some portion of that. And that's all she was going to do. And it was working well for her to just do that. So let's take that as an idea, a trading idea. So we've heard the basics already. We know when we're going to get in. We're going to look for something that moves above and closes above the 22 period moving average, which, to talk about the 22 moving average, that is simply the 1 month average. A lot of people just use the 20 period, and the 22 is a true 1 month. And she felt like this gave her a couple extra days where everybody else refers to the 20, she would use the 22. So she would use that average, and it had to be an uptrending moving average. So in other words, it had to be moving up. And then the price would close above it on greater volume. So I don't remember the specifics of if she even outlined those. So we are going to get in. So that means we're going to get in the following day on that particular security. And we are going to monitor the 22 period moving average. And we're going to look for anytime it drops below that rising moving average to get out as our exit. So we have all of our trading rules in place with that. Our target is just to wait for it to drop below it. So that means it's always going up. We're always increasing in value, and we're just going to exit when it drops below it. Very simple system, quite simple. So I created a chart, And let's see, let's look at Microsoft. And we're just going to type in the symbol at the top of our channel. Now I have taken and made a template, my default template for this kind of strategy. So what I did was, you can see our volume here, and I used the 50 period exponential as the average volume that I was going to use on my control. So within MetaStock, I've set up an expert advisor. If we right click on the chart, I can go to expert advisor, go to expert properties so you can see it. And this is just my template I set up very quickly. I'm calling it the Lakey expert. I'm looking for a trend. In other words, I want to know when the 22 period moving average is moving up or down. So I've set up a formula here, and you can get help with formulas in MetaStock. I've got quite a bit of experience, so they don't, I'm very comfortable with formulas. And this goes back to if I'm doing formulas in Excel, which is really where I did a lot of my formula writing prior to this job, as well as some other things I had done some programming. So you can use our formula primer from our resources area of our website, or contact support to get help with any formula you want to write. You just need to know the specifics of what you want it to do. So in this case, I'm going to look for an increasing moving average. And I'll just quickly run over this formula in case anybody wants to know about it. So in my bullish section, I'm saying that the moving average of the 22 is greater than the ref, means the previous, because I put -1, the previous moving average. So we're just saying it has to be going up. And the bearish is when it's going down. And you can see the ribbon along the bottom has a bullish and bearish areas for when the moving average is moving up or moving down. Now, we can talk about other sections of this, but that's something support can help you with. I set up a buy signal to show up on the charts, and that really is kind of simple. It says, first of all, the moving average has to be going up. And so that section, the same section that we use to declare a bullish zone, is in there. And we're going to look for the cross of the close with this moving average, the 22 period simple moving average. And I also have to say that I want the volume. Oh, let's see, let me change this here again because I thought I'd change this. I'm going to say the moving average of the volume times 1.5. I said 1.25. So that means it has to be greater than 20%. It has to be 20% greater than the average volume. So this has to be the average volume for the last 2 periods. So we're going to take into account the last 2 periods to make sure they're 25% higher than the average of the volume over the last 50 periods. And then I was going to set up a stop, but that formula would take on a little bit more, needs to have a little bit more written into it than what would look good on this chart, because we have to know if we're in a position or not. And I didn't take the time to go ahead and write that, but it actually is not very difficult to do and add to your charts. But we could put that in there. We would use the same formula for an alert. So in other words, you could get a sound. If you have the real time, that works really well. You can get an alert. You can even have an alert emailed to you. So that works really good in the real-time version. Not so much in the end of day, because there's other ways of getting that information to see if an alert would actually exist through the exploration. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and resave this. So my chart might change a little bit, because in this particular chart, I did see an arrow, but I didn't have the volume note part of that on here. So you can see I have an arrow back here. I have a couple of arrows on this chart now that show a time when, let me get the crosshairs, time when the volume was high and we'd crossed above 22. And you can see this moving average is going up, And you can see how well it actually performed on that time. We can see the same thing back here on this particular point. The moving average had just come down and actually just started to rise again when it crossed over. And we did get a rise in the price from the time that we might have entered to the time that we might have exited. But we could go back through the chart and we could calculate all of these ourselves manually. There's another one, definitely had a rise before it crossed back down below. And we could find all these and figure out exactly what we would have gained. Well, what if we can take our system tester and have it to figure that out for us, and we can do it across many stocks, not just one, but we can do it on many and much faster. So let's click on the P for the Power Console, and we'll go to the system test. I created one. Now, if I want to search for mine, so I just called it Lakey. And here it is, Lakey system test. And we'll check that. And let's check this against the, let's just do the Dow Jones. I really liked it. I tested it on many more. And I just selected, oh, I didn't have the right list in here. That's interesting. I selected the wrong Dow Jones list to put in my list. All right, well, we're going to try it on the S&P 500 then. And if you have any questions, please type them in to either YouTube or into the GoToWebinar, and I'll answer those as soon as we have an opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and start this exploration. Yes, go ahead. I'm not seeing them. I think I could, but right now. Sounds good. Thank you, Greg. All right, so I'll start this and let it run. And you can see our little progress down here. So I didn't show the actual test. We could have discussed that, and I could have shown you the particular writing, and I think we can even look at this while this is running. Let's take a look. We'll edit this. I can right click and edit. Oh, I can't while it's running. Okay, so the system test, all I did was set up the entry exactly as I did those arrows that you're seeing on the chart. And I set the exit to look for the times when it crossed below the 22 period moving average. Very simple statement. And so that's all we're doing, is we're just looking for, the rising 22 period moving average. We're looking for the cross across the 22 period moving average on greater volume over the last 2 days than what is average. And then we're going to exit once the close crosses back down below the 22 period moving average. Now we could definitely take those rules and work with them a little bit to kind of, tie in to what it is that might help us with our trading a little bit more, or where we think maybe some of our conditions could help us exclude some of the bad trades. But let's look at this chart and see how it comes out. It's almost done. There we go. So I can see right now, just from this screen, that I definitely have some losers down here, but those lines are not as big as my gains. Now, if I want to sort these, I can take percent gain. I like looking at percent gain. And we can see that we gained 145% on our biggest gainer, and we lost 50% on our worst loser, 48. So to me, that says, and this is only longs, this is not even trying to do shorts. So that says to me, let me make this bigger. So that says to me that works pretty good, because, I've got such a good gain here. And I really think that we could do better with our exits per se. But right now, that's all that it's set for, is just when it crosses that 22 period moving average. So we have a system that seems to work pretty good. Let's take a look on Gartner. So this is the S&P 500. We'll plot this on a chart and open up a chart of Gartner. And then I'm also going to open up our biggest loser. I'm going to open that up too to take a look at it. So we'll close the report, and I should have both those charts open back here. Okay, so here is the one that we didn't do so good on. And we can see this stock is constantly rising. If we look at the very bottom graph in what would normally be the scroll bar, we can see this price is coming from nothing up here. And then it really kind of drops a little bit, but it comes back up. It's kind of interesting that we wouldn't have good trades off of this. But we can see that we have a couple that, we have some gaps and some things that really play into that and really don't help us with our trading, especially in this period right here. In fact, it looks like we did pretty good on this. Let's take a look at this whole thing again. So as far as a losing strategy, actually this one just kind of slowly fell the whole time. All of our trades, we're not doing so good on that particular type of stock, which is kind of hard to believe since that stock, it looks like if you would have just bought and hold, you would have definitely made out okay. So this is one where this one didn't quite pay out on there. So let's go ahead and close that chart. And let's look at the one that it did. And we can see that here on Gartner, don't know anything about this particular company, but we took our strategy and we had some pretty good jumps here. We didn't trade, then suddenly, and it just looks like we had a couple losing trades with it, but for the most part, this just continued to climb. And we can go in and analyze those trades a little bit more, just like we could have on the other chart. And we can see, where we enter, where we exit with that strategy, and analyze each individual strategy. So if you have any questions, definitely ask about those. So this simple strategy works really well, quite honestly. Let's see, let's go back to the report. We'll highlight we went to the Power Console, back to the system test. We highlight the Lakey system. We actually have to check it and click report. And let's take a look at our most recent report again. Let's see, Microsoft. That was a chart we looked at a moment ago when we were building it. How did Microsoft work out? Oh, they're not in this. Okay, they're not in this group. All right, so we could run the report directly on, oh yes they are, here we go. So Microsoft actually made 38% over that time. Idea was playing with this. I actually took it over 10 years, or actually it's over 20 years at this moment. So Microsoft playing this strategy, you could have done better with buy and hold, but it definitely gained on that by just following that strategy. And we can see the reports that MetaStock gives. It tells you all about the strategy and how it different statistics on how it works. We can look at the orders tab. It'll say all the particular orders that were made or put in place with the broker to make that happen. And our positions shows us our positions and how they gained. And our equity line, you saw that on the chart. This is our equity line of how we gained on the equity. Looks like we had a little downturn where Microsoft didn't work so good here around this time frame, but we climbed back up. And then some different, this is how your actual settings that were used for it. If you ever have to, want to talk to support about a system test, just to kind of some information, if you send the SOS, is what I call it, summary, orders, and system, to a support rep, they should be able to tell you or help you learn about your system and why it may have performed the way that the way it performed. All right, so I'm actually was kind of impressed with those numbers myself because, we can make out pretty good on that system. It's such a simple system. So if we go to the exploration, I created an exploration for it as well. And so let's look at my exploration. So let's do an exploration to see if there's any current signals on, let's take a look at the S&P 500 once again. Let's take a look and see if we have any signals that are generated from this simple idea. So we're looking for things that we might be able to trade. And it's going to look for things that are happening today while the market's actually open today. So those of you who don't use MetaStock, these are the this particular tool, this exploration is one that I hear all the time from other users that have other systems, that things that they cannot do in the other system is make some custom tools or even use those that are built in or with our add-ons and scan the markets in this way. So it looks like Garmin is in that scenario. Now, this is kind of interesting because I'm pretty sure I set this up to 1.25. So right now we're in the middle of our trading day. We only have enough volume for half of the day. And for something to come up at this point in the day is it must be having some significant trading volume on it right now to come up. I probably should have used yesterday because without the day being over, to be 25% over the last 2 days on volume, it must have had something significant happening to have that volume. So let's open this chart of Garmin. And boy, look at it, took a jump, and it's definitely had some, today's volume is already above the average volume. So Garmin must have had some news. I don't know if they had earnings or what they might have had. But if you have our real-time system, you can use Zenith to go and do more research on the company, looking for news, looking at their income statements, seeing maybe they did announce earnings, see what they might say about their earnings. So they jumped above it, and the moving average is going up. It's been kind of flat. Looks like they take a jump every so often. Look, I'm going to guess that could be earnings or some event, because I just happened to notice that there was an event here 3 months ago where we had a nice jump up. This one would have also, you see that we have an arrow on that time. So you would have gotten alerted at that time as well that this was a good symbol to be in. Let's see, now I'm curious. So since we have time, I'm going to do my exploration on yesterday's data and see what we came up. So I'm going to change it so it's not looking at the current date and time. And I'm going to say, look at the 20th. So you can see the 20th is in this column. So it's going to use yesterday's data to do our exploration on. So if we would have done this exploration yesterday, this is exactly what we would have seen. I do this a lot with MetaStock. I will go back and see what comes up on my exploration from previous days, especially when I'm investigating a system, trying to figure out if that system is valid. And that way I can look at the charts or look at what symbols would have come up. So this time we have just 2. So let's go ahead and open the chart of 1. If I open up the chart of 1, I can scroll through every one of them in the list. Today it's only 2 on this particular situation, but we can look at these. So this one here, I don't know anything about Darden per se, but they definitely had a couple of days. Both those days were above the average volume, and totaling they must have been 25% greater. But you can see that it told us to go ahead and look at this symbol with this exploration. And our moving average is climbing, which is exactly what we wanted. Let's look at the other symbol. I'll simply use the arrows down here on the bottom of my chart for next instrument on the bottom right. And we'll look at the other symbol, Verisk Analyst. Now, it gave us an entry, but if we, this is one thing that honestly I could have done with the system test and may have quite honestly saved us some time, because I would never buy if this symbol is going to trade lower, which it obviously has. Now, in the test that I performed, I had nothing in there for it to suggest anything about that. So this is good to do our research and look at these things a little bit, because instantly I would have said you would not have actually entered that, because if I was setting up an order, I would have put some kind of a limit. I would never have paid, I would never have paid if it had dropped down below this. I would have been looking for it to continue rising. So this one yesterday would have come up on our report. We could have put an order in with our broker, but again, this is one that, if it's below the 22, I definitely wouldn't have gotten back in if it opened lower than the 22. So, we could take our system test and we could accommodate for that. And then we could also, look at that, and that would definitely help with those. So you can see how I've taken a basic trading plan, a basic idea. It's one I had heard many years ago, and I was always, that always intrigued me, that that's exactly how simple your trading could be, and you could be okay with trading. And we could take that trading plan, we can test it, and we can play with that information, and we can go ahead and put a couple of other ideas in here. For instance, we can see now that we definitely would not want to enter if it's lower than maybe the high or something of the previous day. And then we can test that idea, and then we can go ahead and create an exploration to find those situations that we want to get into to help our trading. So that's a complete go from the very beginning of an idea to the very end of an idea. And we can see that with all of the tools that MetaStock has, the expert advisor on my charts, it can show me when to enter and when to exit. Let's take a look at a template that has that, because I didn't take time on this chart to go ahead and help create that kind of information. So I'm going to apply something that's been around for a long time and honestly is a very good solid system. And it's the RMO, the RMO trade model. It's one I know well. We have many systems built in, but this is one that I really feel comfortable with and I could talk about. So you can see this one here has the entries and exits. Now these aren't entries and exits, so it would take time to learn to teach about these and go through it. But there are 3 basic ideas or 3 basic things you always look for on your entry. First of all, you have to have a green ribbon, let's say for long. You have to have blue bars, and the last arrow has to be blue. So we can see back here in this area, we actually lined up pretty good. And all of them should be changing to give you that. So we changed to green, we changed to blue, and we had a blue arrow all at the same time. And you can see how this would have worked out as a good trade. As soon as we have this red arrow, we might start thinking about changing our stop on this one. And that would be the plan that we would have. So with this arrow coming down, we would have taken these profits from this point. And you can see this is about where you would have entered. And you can see that we would have gained a few percent. Let me show you that. Let's look at a trend line from MetaStock that'll show us. So this is where we would have entered roughly. And this is about, we probably gotten stopped out somewhere around here. I'm just guessing, just based upon what you would have set. So 2.5% is what it says that it would have moved. So you would have gained 2.5% on that trade in a month. It's 17th to the 20th, a little more than a month. So, you know, I've heard a lot of different input onto what, you know, how exactly, you know, what you should be looking for to gain in your trades. But 2.5% over a month's period is pretty good. That's definitely some compounded interest you're gaining. Your AIR account's growing at a fairly rapid rate compared to anything else. So in our other trading idea, if we had the exits on the chart, wish I would have got them there, but it was definitely outside of what I was able to do. We would have our exits and everything outlined right on our chart here, and we would see them. All of those are entry. I can just look at this. There's our entry again, and that's on IBM. Come up here and exited right here. If we had that all in motion. So that, let's see what that gain is just for giggles. So we wouldn't have gotten in. We could have gotten in about there, and we would exit about there. Let's see, let's just put it, and this is lower than what we would have gotten. I mean, that's 10% gain over 3 months. And I'm just throwing out a random number. Yeah, it's about 3 months. 10% gain over 3 months. Can't get that in your bank account, that's for sure. So MetaStock has a lot of great tools. We have, I started talking about those and lost track. We have our expert advisor that can plot things on a chart and show you what to do. We can test our system with the system tester. We can take our own ideas. We can test others' ideas as well. There are several built-in systems. We can take basic Bollinger Bands and play with those and test those. We can explore and look for the conditions that we want to use to enter into a trade. And that will, you know, help us find an entry and follow our trading plan. So this is the thing that, let's go back to the statement, you know. So can you follow the rules that you created and work? We can see that they work if you have some concrete rules to follow. And then can you follow them through to the end? MetaStock can't do that for you, but it can definitely give you the opportunities to do that for yourself. I love MetaStock. I mean, I use it every day. And, you know, it's taken me some time to counter my own discipline, because honestly, I have discipline problems. I'm too much of a gambler, and it's taken me time to rein that in. But I'm finally seeing some success with my trading, and it's all because of MetaStock and the environment around me. So MetaStock is well worth any price, especially with that information and the techniques I can use in the scanning to find my trades. Let me see, I've got, let's look at what options we have here. So MetaStock real time. Let's see, let's look at the options. Sorry, the end of day. Let's start with the end of day, because that would fit well into this particular price. You can buy MetaStock, and then if you're only needing one set of data, you can, with the data. So $4.99 one-time payment to buy MetaStock. And if you call me, maybe I can help you with a little bit better number. And then $27.95 per month. The main thing is we have these 3-month trials where you can try MetaStock for 3 months for the same price that you would pay for one. To lease MetaStock with the data, it's $265 for real time and $59 or $69 for the end of day, depending on what version that you want. And you'll get MetaStock 18 with data. You'll have the support will always be available for you. We have unlimited support with that you can contact them at any time. We will set up a one-on-one session with you so that you can talk to our white glove service and give you a one-on-one with our team to talk to them about MetaStock and help you set it up and get to use it better. You'll see at the bottom here, there's for the 3-for-1 offer, you can go to www.metastock.com/Lakey341 and set yourself up with that 3-for-1. But don't give me a call. My phone number, you leave me a message. If I don't answer, you can email me, al.lakey@metastock.com. I'll be happy to help you talk. I want to talk to you about your trading, where you're at, what I can do to help you, and how MetaStock can help you. MetaStock's a great tool with all these assets, and it's only getting better. So, Greg, what do you think? Any new questions out there?
There are, just a second.
Oh, great.
Sorry, can you hear me now, Al?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah, so there were no questions per se. You've got a very, very attentive audience. I did run, at the beginning of the presentation, you talked about how much a woman spent trading and felt like she was neglecting her family. So that made me kind of think, I wonder what our audience does in terms of how much time they spend each day trading. So I did a little poll, and of those that participated, the question was, how much time do you spend each day trading? The answers were less than 1 hour, more than 1 hour, more than 2 hours, more than 3 hours. 17, it looks like only about 5 or 6 people actually participated because of the way the numbers are working out, but 17% said 1, 17% said more than 1, 17% said more than 2, and 50% said more than 3 hours. So it looks like we have some heavy duty traders out there.
Trading is fun, and there's no knock on spending time trading, spending hours, or there's no knock on spending less time. It's all in you and what fits you. But trading can be very fun. It's a very fun activity to participate in.
Well, I have to say, for me and my meager, modest portfolio, I generally spend less than an hour. But I got a full-time job.
Yes.
Okay.
But as many
All
of us do.
That's all of the questions on this end, and I don't see any in GoToWebinar either. So, Dave, unless you have anything else, I think you're welcome to wrap it up. I'll let you do so and get out of your hair.
Again, I can just say, MetaStock, call me. Let's talk about your trading and how MetaStock can help you, and let's talk about what it is you're doing that's successful. I definitely want to hear about the success, as well as maybe how you can maybe improve your trading. Again, my number is 1-800-587-8013, and you can also reach me through email, al.lakey@metastock.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Everybody have a good day.
Hi, Kelly Clement here from MetaStock. Before you go, I have 2 quick things for you. 1, thanks for joining us today. We love having you here at our webinars and viewing our videos. So what I'd like to invite you to do before you go is like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us a great deal, and it helps us bring you more awesome content like today's video. The second thing is we have a great ebook on trading that you can get for free. If you go to metastock.com/YouTubebook, you can get a free copy of The Secrets of Successful Traders. It's a great book with lots of content from traders just like yourself who can teach you some of the secrets that they have learned. Thanks for taking a second with me and learning about those 2 things. Thanks for joining us, and keep on trading.